Genesis 12 is the chapter in which God calls Abram, and this is the birth story of the nation of Israel. If someone random, some stranger, walks up to you and tells you, leave everything and come with me because I'm going to give you something super awesome, would you do it? I think that most people would definitely not go with someone they don't know, they don't trust.
I literally never seen you before.
You don't know what their intentions are, if they're actually going to give you that thing they told you. So most people just wouldn't go. But if someone you really trust tells you, leave everything, come with me, trust me, I'm going to give you something super cool, I'm pretty sure that you would probably say yes, or at least think about it. This is what happened to Abram. God came to him, told him, leave everything, come with me, I promise you that I'm going to give you something awesome. And Abram did it. And I think that it's because Abram had an encounter with God. He had the revelation of the one true God. So that when God told him, just leave everything you know and love, he said, okay, I'll do it. It's super amazing how he left his family, his land, and just went off to an unspecified place that God promised him.
Where am I going?
That was faith. I always ask myself, why couldn't God just use Abram there? With his family, right in the land where he grew up. Why did he have to ask him to leave? There are many reasons why God asked this of Abram. And one of them is that he was consecrating him. He was setting him apart. He was uprooting and removing him from that place of pagan worship and idolatry and putting him away from that. It was a way for God to separate Abram from everyone else and say, this is who I chose. And by doing this, God was also making Abram dependent on him, because Abram just had his wife, his nephew, his belongings, and nothing else but a promise from God. Abram was clinging on that promise. He lived by that promise. So once Abram left everything that was familiar to him, there was a famine, and he ends up going to Egypt and lying. So he looks at his wife and he says, man, you're kind of hot, and they're probably going to kill me to get you, so just say you're my sister. The problem with this was not only that Abram was lying to save his life, was that he was not trusting the Lord. He was taking matters into his own hands because he was afraid. And he was afraid because he doubted. God had a promise. God said he would do something with him, but yet he doubted. He feared for his life, for his safety, and put his wife in danger. So they take Sarai, and the Pharaoh wants to make her his wife. But even then, God protected Sarai because she was to be the mother of this amazing nation. And even then, even when Abram messed up, God was there for him and was there to protect him. Abram shows us what faith really is. He basically just threw himself out blindly, following what God had promised him. He left everything that was familiar to him and trusted that God would do what he said. Just like Abram, faith is not because we know where God's taking us. It's because we trust that wherever he leads us, there he will protect us. And even though sometimes we try to take matters into our own hands, we should never forget that God is with us. That if he promised something, we shouldn't fear, because he will always be there for us. We should learn to depend on God, even if the circumstances don't seem to be in our favor. Hey, did you like this video? If you did, please don't forget to like, to subscribe, and to share with everyone so that the word of God can reach more people.